is up, guys? It's your boy GRC. We're coming at you live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern, crypto in the morning with my co-host Sam STOLT and my producer Bullish Hawks. Biceps in the chat for producer Bullish. I think he's still in the ER, but he has his laptop now, so that's better. But still, we got to make sure Bullish stays. Producer Bullish needs to stay upright. So biceps in the chat, guys. Today we're talking about the macro. And we're gonna dive into unemployment. We're gonna dive into energy. We're gonna dive into oil. We're gonna dive into crypto. We're gonna dive in and see what's going on, because we don't want anyone spending their money on altcoins if they're gonna dump 70%. Sam, right? That would be weak sauce. That would be major weak sauce. We don't like weak sauce, but if you have some stuff in USDC, that don't go down as much. So we want to make sure what we're doing right now. I got some things on my plate right now in crypto. I wish I didn't have them on my plate, but there's decisions to be made. But I will give you a hashtag. I'm bullish on Ethereum. And I'm not like short term. I mean, I guess that's the wrong way to put it. Like I'm seeing Ethereum do things that are directly related to the changes that have happened in Ethereum in the last month, and they're exciting me. How would I say it like that, rather than saying I'm bullish? Because the Ethereum chart looks strong like ox. And Zen Crypto, did it flip Ethereum into its deflationary state right after the merge? I mean, we know the merge. Why did the merge happen, guys? Because they wanted to make Ethereum deflationary, proof of stake. All these things come together, and we were all talking about the flippening for years, right? The Ethereum flippening, Sam, for years. When's it going to flip? What's going to happen, Sam? Are we flipping? So that's what I kind of want to talk about today. But overall macro stuff, Sam's in the background. He wants to give his take, guys. I'm excited. Crypto in the morning, live every single day. DeFi Proof, the greatest DeFi producer in the history of DeFi.
You already know what time it is.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Smoking no blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hacks and I'm making a stake. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that just in case. GymRatCrypto sent me to show you the way.
DeFi Proof.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Ready to take notes.
Yo, good morning, sir. How you doing today? How is everybody doing on their weekend?
That's the weekend.
Yeah, I know every day is like the weekend.
I forgot it was Saturday, bro. UFC's on today. What's up?
Everything crazy going on with crypto right now. I think that with the Fed stuff coming up, where we got that in like 3 or 4 days or something. But then shortly after that, what do we have? The election, right? The midterm cycle is going on. We have dampening housing market, not only in terms of because interest rates are so high, right? Where interest rates are going to more than likely going to go up by 75 basis points on Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever. But then you also have new builds, right? Permits, dope shirt, bro, diamond hand all day. You have new builds down, right? So what's going on? Gas prices are still ridiculously high compared to where they were.
Get my stuff off of ETH, man. Oh, Sam, I got it quick. I'm gonna give you 3 minutes. 1 minute. ETH PAL, dude. I liked ETH PAL and ETH F. You know why? Because I could all-chain swap the native asset whenever I wanted on all-chain bridge. Oh wait, is that the one I was using? That's the only one I like because it's the only one. Yeah, it's not complicated at all. You don't have to mess with anything. It's gone. ETW gone. Gone away. And now I'm pissed. And now I don't want my ETW anymore. And I looked all day yesterday. I was looking for a smooth way. Yes, Sam, I'm telling you. And then I started seeing some funny things. But I was trying to ask people, and nobody would answer me. I was like, well, how can I get my ETH PAL off of here? I was like, is someone, and then I was trying to use their native sites and stuff, and they were all like 1,500 transactions required for a, I was all stuck up, bro. I'm telling you, I could not get my shit off.
Well, I'm looking right now. ETH is still there, but ETH.
Yes, I know. That's what I noticed too, because I was just trying to liquidate some stuff like from my spare change that on my streaming computer. I like to do that when I'm bored, like literally, like just boredom. And I'm going around like, hey, how much spare crap do I have over here? How much over here? And I'm like, let me use a different website, my ETH PAL, because I wanted to swap it to Binance. So I was like, okay, it's like 20 or 30 ETW. Like I wasn't even freaking out. I was just like clicking around. Then I noticed 30 minutes later, I'm still clicking around. And I was like, why can't I get this done? And to the point where I was frustrated. Like I was like, I've cross-chain swapped 700 times in the last week. And I cannot get this shit off of here. And I know I don't know every website, but I do this a lot now. I'm swallowing, all good to go. Someone there's someone that's trying to do something, because if you went to MEXC, it said 1,500 transaction with block requirement or whatever, which means like 8 hours. So I was like, I ain't waiting 8 hours. And I have it stuck pending on some website right now. It's not stuck, but I guess it'll go through, and whenever it's done, like I don't give a shit. But I'm telling you, bro, I'm sketched out over there, and I don't have a lot of money over there. I told everyone how much I put in. Like, that's it. That is what it is. But I'm struggling. I'm starting to smell something fishy, and I'm not telling people that it's true. I'm just telling people that I can't get my shit off.
Did you look at Dex Screener to see if transaction volume has changed?
Well, it couldn't have, because no one can move their shit. They can only go in. Like, I couldn't even do a transaction. I was trying, Sam. I mean, I could swap stuff and everything, obviously, but I was like looking around because the hex price was explosive. And oh my God, thanks, Sam. Hold on one second. When the hex price did that big bump, you noticed it. I noticed it. I sold a little on that top right away, ETW to Binance. And maybe they started noticing others doing that, and it was too bulksome, and hex was being too explosive on their little like manually kept liquidity chain. And they're like, we have to X this outward pressure, because now we're just losing. You know what I mean? Because we know that ETW doesn't get traded a lot.
Could be, but why keep? Oh yeah, I guess you could have.
I'm taking money out and putting it into Binance like it's my job.
Yeah,
like 7-8 Binance tokens full. I mean, that's just me. Like this is my streaming computer. I'm a random. You know what I mean? Like I can only imagine a dude that's like locked in trying to make $1 billion right now off of like a milli.
That is weird. There's still like a 10x.
Look into that afterwards if you have time today. Yeah, and I do. We can talk more. I forgot. Like I totally forgot about all this. This was last night. I was pissed off to the point where I wanted to quit. Like I finished it obviously because it's pending still. It didn't go through, but I finished like doing my transaction that I wanted to do. But very frustrated. But then, Sam, the other thing that's funny is that you can't sell ETH or you can't sell Hex F without like uber slippage. So I was like, I'm not selling any of that shit. There's too much slippage on it. And I'm like, okay, so is this all getting stuck up by someone? Like, is someone kind of onto this shit and not liking it or whatever? Or maybe just it was a little overinflated, so now it's kind of resetting. I don't know.
I'm checking Chain Hop, which is another one.
Sam, go ahead and check every one you could possibly check, because I promise if you find one, I will send you $500, and I will literally be so happy. I won't actually.
What's the chain ID? For
I don't know, Sam, but I'm gonna play this video and we can kind of do that while the video is playing. Is that cool?
Perfect.
I'm gonna kind of do the same thing now that I'm remotivated for it. So guys,
say hi to the super chat real quick.
Sorry, Sam. I really wanted to get that out of my mouth. Remember, I said just like 3 minutes. Like I really wanted to say.
Yep. Say hi to Dr.
GRC. Oh wow, fantastic. Dr. V Ray. Are you kidding me? I love Dr. V Ray. The diamond hands. Hey, the diamond. Thanks for the 140 czar super chat. Brother GRC, I owe you so much. All you have taught me. Bro, your mindset is ultra strong. Emotional fitness is my new life goal. Dude, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, Sam knows this. I know this. Everyone knows it, but it's like to a weird, like intimate degree. When you're like, dude, for real, my hot ass girlfriend dumped me. And I probably got upset about it and I still respect everything. Like, I want to be respectful, of course. Like, there's a lot of reasons for stuff like that. But I know when I was 21, 22, stuff like that would really put me down bad dude, I'm locked and loaded. Nothing can stop me, bro. I don't give a fuck. And I love all these people and I respect the crap out of all of them. I swear to God. Like, I don't wish ill will on anyone. But I'm ready to go. I'm 28.
The emotional fitness is what facilitates speed, right? Because when you're not emotionally fit, that's being a fat blob and trying to move around real quick or do a lot of things very active. It's extremely draining. But when you're emotionally fit,
everything. It's all day. It's
correct.
You can't even mow your lawn. I remember when girls would break. Something would happen or someone would do something I didn't like in this world and I couldn't even focus for months. Like I would predict, I'd be like, okay, this girl dumped me. So I'm down bad for like 4.5 months because that's how bad my mental health was. And I'm talking 21, 20 years old, a little different, right? Like your girl breaks your heart. You don't understand relationships so much, whatever this, that, or you dump a girl too, whatever the heck happened. But I'm telling you guys, I have a goal and a mission now and a schedule and a regimen and I'm not, and one of the reasons that it didn't work out is because I wasn't willing to move from what I felt I needed to do on this earth was more important. And I just wasn't willing to just put anything in front of it. Being that I'm 28 though, like I like to think that's kind of young.
But it's exciting. It's exciting because so many people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s they're not emotionally fit, right? You see it.
Never, no one. Correct. Drinking themselves to sleep.
We talk about this on the phone. There's such a advantage to having, like, you can have money, right? You can have girls, you can have fitness, you can have these things, but and the mental side of things, that's how I characterize stuff, right? The relationships, the money things, the health things, and the mental stuff. You can have, if you can put all those pieces together, you're just like God mode all the time. I have a folder in my thing.
But you want to be safe too. Like, just understand, like,
correct.
You have to have a mission though. Like, if you're not having a mission, then you're just gonna like do stupid stuff. You know what I mean? Because we've all been there too. Like, I'm very mission oriented. Sometimes my missions are a little more sketchy than other missions, but as I get older, it's more mature, law abiding, stuff for the most part. Like, I don't want to get in any trouble. Frankly, I don't want to go to federal prison. And that's one of the things that makes me scared because they love throwing, extroverted, free-thinking young men in prison for a very long time for nonviolent charges. They will do that. So, and I just know that to a reality because a couple of my friends got sniped. And so it's just like.
But there's also a bigger reason to controlling the men between, say, 15 and 35, 15 and 40, because those men are the powerful men, right? Those men are the ones who are going to start the revolution. They're going to garner the leadership, right, together and build a cause and cause a revolution. So you need to, if you're in charge, if you have the power, you need to be able to control the men between, say, 15 years old and, say, 45 years old, because those are the dudes who are going to use their fucking head, and they're going to think for themselves.
I like to use Tom Brady in the example. I think him and Giselle, his supermodel like wife with 5 kids or 3 kids, like they've been together for a long time and they got the divorce papers out. Of course, everyone's buzzing about it, but I've been watching Tom Brady since he was just a boy. And I said, the only one that didn't do anything wrong and who will continue to succeed is Tom Brady. Yeah, maybe he's had a couple bad games. Like, it's not easy going through all the stress of doing that stuff, but he's on the field. He's 45 years old. Sam, he's 45 5 years old. F you. Like literally, dude, I would give that dude the hardest handshake in history. Be like, dude, I don't care what you're doing, whether it's football, crypto, you're not even supposed to be able to do this anymore physically. And you just got divorced by a girl who makes $600 million a year. And you have 4 kids with her, and you're on the field Sunday dropping dimes. Like, and I'm watching with my dad because they played the Ravens, and it was a Thursday night game, and I was like, my mom was like, he probably cheated. I was like, he didn't do a damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just doing his thing and working and getting it like he always has. And I just appreciated that. But we got to get into the
yes. Hey, doctor, appreciate you. Hope you're creating an awesome weekend. Yes. Thank you for the kind words there. I love LP. I filmed 2 videos this week that are going to be coming out just talking about LP and general stuff.
Did you clip apart from our show yesterday and post it? I think I popped up on my Finder. I like that.
Shane, if you guys are not following Shane over on Twitter, you guys should follow. I don't know his name, but you know Shane. He's been posting some clips. He's sent me some, and I posted them on my channel. Some of them with you, some of them with me, some of them together, and good stuff. If I find that helpful, right? I'm trying to put out more clips, and if he's willing to do that, and I appreciate that. You know, I turned 41. What did I say? I turned 41 yesterday. Happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday. You're muted.
Happy birthday. Where's my present? I want to gamble with free BMVP. Well, I would have given it to you if you turned 40, but 41's not important. 40 is more important. So let's play this video, Sam. Sam, I'm telling you, I would need you to keep your eyes out on ETH, bro. I was struggling yesterday, and I haven't struggled in a while. Like, I'm telling you, like, I haven't gone months without having a problem with the front end other than like maybe a sticky, like loading kind of situation with MetaMask. No problems. Someone is directly making it very, very, very difficult to swap ETH off of the chain. And I don't know if that's all fair game or if I don't think it's fair game. I want to be able to, it's not real DeFi if I can't swap between the other chains, because then it just wouldn't exist, right? Because obviously they're just getting arbed out. And that's exactly what I've been doing for the last 3 months, frankly. So it's been interesting, but I still have all the transactions on my all-chain bridge, like all the ETH transactions. Like, they still listed right under it, right? Because I was
correct.
That's all I was using all-chain bridge for was ETH to Binance.
Wow. Has anybody? Let's get into the video. But if you guys are watching or listening, have you used any other bridges to get over to W or back from W?
Frankly, I already know the answer. Other than chain, I mean, yes, there are some.
MEXC.
They're going to list them, and you're going to go to the website, and then you're going to go through it, and then it's going to tell you that it's an 8-hour transaction, because I did that for 11 websites in a row. Change a lead, I looked at 50 of them. Swear to God, I was really trying. I wasn't even about the money at this point. I was like, is this actually not able to be traded? Like, because I will not be buying this anymore if it cannot be traded.
What did you check out MEXC? What happened there?
I needed transaction time set up till tomorrow. Literally, I'm telling you, it's like someone made a block limit on like something, and because on those things you can, depending, Sam, how good or well traded the asset is, they'll make it easier or harder because they need it in the system, right? They need to buy a bunch of it, and then that's their capital. And then it's like, so Sam, let's just keep that. But yeah, we'll talk about that at the end. It sounds like Sam might be good for a 12.15, 12.25er today. Hey, I'm loving the show again. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
the last couple episodes have been fire, guys. If you guys enjoyed them, make sure you take a second to share this video out with some other folks too.
And me and Sam will do a Twitter a 5-minute. Everyone's been posting our stuff on Twitter, which has been fucking awesome, man. Like, I, you know, Sam, I've always asked you. I was like, I can't wait for people to start posting stuff because I'm, you know, it's too hard for me to look back.
I have not been on Twitter much, so I will be working on doing that.
Well, when anyone posts a clip, make sure you subscribe to those guys, and then you make sure you give them a DM and say thank you, guys. We really like when people post clips of the show, only good clips. Like, we don't. I mean, it could be.
Well, every moment is a good.
But I like the clips. Like, there's parts in the show that I don't want to miss because they're actually awesome. Like yesterday when Jack put on the glasses and stated all this like funny ass shit. Like, that was hilarious. So, guys, we're gonna go into the macro. The Fed is losing the fight. Bitcoin, crypto, stocks ripping, but is it a fake out? And I think this guy is an older guy, so he's not gonna beat around the bush with us. But
Let's get. Do you wanna...
like he's gonna beat around the bush.
No.
He's like, I'm on YouTube. I have no followers. I want to tell everyone what's going on. So, all right, guys.
Who is this dude? The Fed losing the fight. Bitcoin crypto. That's the name of this.
Oh wow, his name's Greg Dickerson, and
he's got 54,000.
58.4K subscribers. October 28th, 2022. What is that?
What is what?
Is that
22. That was yesterday.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that was yesterday. So this came out yesterday. This is
We're doxing ourselves for having no idea what the day, time, or year is.
So, we don't like when you work for yourself and you just kind of like live life. You don't really pay attention to days of the week.
No,
like it's not something I really pay attention.
Traffic, to Sam. Traffic.
And
when
working out.
I have to look at traffic hours.
I don't work out on the weekend, so that's the only indicator that I have is like, oh, I don't work out on Saturday or Sunday. So yours is traffic, mine's working out. Let's get into this video, guys. It's enough stalling at this point.
The markets are ripping today after weak tech earnings, strong consumer data coming out ahead of the Fed decision next week, which 75 basis points is all but guaranteed right now. So let's jump in, see what's going on. And the markets are having a good day today. Dow up 800 points, 2.5%. S&P up 2.39. NASDAQ up 2.68. So what is going on? Well, you had some sell-off in some of the big tech names, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, selling off a little bit, Facebook. That capital is going back into the Dow stocks. We're going to take a look at the Dow. Some of the Dow stocks having their best day in a while. Apple is surging. Meanwhile, we've got in other news, Elon Musk has taken over Twitter, so we'll see what happens there. Inflation has caused 54% adults to stop or reduce retirement savings, and the Treasury direct crashes as investors try to beat the key Series 1 bond that was offering 9% interest, almost 10% interest. And then, of course, the housing data is housing market sales are down 10% in the recent pending home sales fell 10% in September, much worse than expected as the high interest rates continue to take a toll on the housing market and real estate market across the country, which is still going to take some time to correct. So if you're in the market to buy, whether it's investment property or a permanent year-round residence, it's going to take a little while for that seller denial to settle in. Sellers are going to, at this point, think that the market's just cooling off seasonally as it does this time of year, and they're going to wait, thinking that prices will come back in the spring. And if interest rates remain high and prices don't come back in the spring, we should see inventory levels start to build a little bit. We're starting to see inventory levels build in some areas of the country. We're seeing big price reductions from distorted, historically high distorted levels that just weren't realistic anyways. 2.5%, 2.3% interest rates drove prices up to unreasonably high levels, just like automobiles, but people continue to buy. Some markets, you're still getting multiple bids. Days on markets are still low historically. And just like when you get into the automobile market, people are still buying new cars. Used car prices are coming down, but new car prices are not coming down that much.
I just want to say one thing, just so everyone remembers in here, in case anyone's thinking about buying a car that's new. Don't do that. Seriously, like because I've been pondering the idea, Sam, so just like looking at websites more, and would rather be dead. I could never. I would rather rent a Tesla any day of the week.
Sure.
Even if it was $600 a week, I'd rather do it because you could just arb the gas. But like, I don't need to drive like that. So
there is interesting though, because I bought my Tesla 2 years ago, nearly 3 years ago, and I could still sell for a profit today, which is like that's fucking crazy. That's insane. But
it might not happen again.
Ever.
So we know that. So like you just like randomly got into Tesla so early that like that arb point kind of stayed there. But there are Teslas everywhere.
And I wouldn't say I'm not saying that as in like, hey, you should buy this. I'm saying this is an anomaly. Probably never going to happen again. Probably won't happen to you, but just it is interesting to see this strange stuff happening because the devaluation of the dollar is so great.
Well, the car market really took it not good because so much material, so much backup. How? Oh God! So I like this video so far. This guy's.
Me too. This guy's on top of it.
That's what I'm saying. I look at the face in the background, and then you can find out about a guy.
Still a lot of demand. And it's just mind-boggling what people are willing to pay for new cars and the payments that they're locking themselves into. But on the other hand, we're seeing huge distress in the automobile market. People are walking away from vehicles, and a lot of the auto lenders are in big trouble. So let's jump in, take a look at the charts, and here's the Dow right here. So a lot of the capital rotating out of the NASDAQ, S&P into the Dow. The Dow is up now. This last June rally was about 15% plus or minus in total. So this current rally is 14%. And we saw what happened the last time, right? Just completely unwound and set a new low. Is that what we're going to see this time? Well, it is a distinct possibility. NASDAQ did not follow suit with the Dow and pop as much, but the S&P a little bit stronger. So next week with the Fed raising interest rates and definitely going to come out with some tough hawkish talk, because right now financial conditions appear to be easing based on what the markets are doing. The Fed is not going to be happy with the market rebounding, and you can see Apple kind of jumping here on the day today. Nice rebound for Apple, but nothing like the June.
Hey, Sam, I want to highlight something really quick. Before I forget it, this is a great video. One thing I did not use, Sam, was FTX. I never used FTX. I never thought about it. I've never used FTX actually in my entire life. So that is what I will be doing after the show, probably just making sure. And because he said, I know several people moving out of EW just fine, but it was FTX. And that's the one thing that I haven't thought about, because everyone has those weird things about FTX. And I'm just
Doesn't Binance still have a EW too?
Binance is not. Trust me, bro. I was trying to go to Binance. That's all I was.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe the ETH would be easier, but I didn't want to send it to ETH. I wanted to send it to Binance just because I was trying to prove a point to it. Like I was trying to figure this shit out at that point. It was pissing Sam. I had never been so pissed. All right.
I'm trying to get an answer now while we're listening to this video. I'm trying to get an answer to figure out what's going on, or just more information around.
Because I don't want to stop arbing Hex Dub. Like that's not chill.
Yep.
That's not chill.
Or July rally off the June lows for Apple. But here's the big one. The VIX is working its way back down. Whenever the VIX is low, look out below. When the VIX is high, it's time to buy. So this was the buy area right here. Last time VIX was at this level was back here in September. And then, of course, this was the August level. So let's take a look at what that looks like. This is August right here. This is September right here. So the VIX is approaching levels where you can expect the bottom to fall out, which could happen next week on the Fed interest rate hike. The dollar is continuing to move up just a little bit. The 10-year is working its way back up, bouncing. A lot of people thought the dollar was going to keep crashing, but as we've seen, it's kind of been doing this all along. This is a little different action on the dollar here, where it could have kind of indicates maybe it was rolling over a bit, and it could, because it did put in a lower low now, took out this previous low here, dropped a lower low. And what do you look for? Lower highs and lower lows. If it pops up here, puts in a lower high and then lower low, and then works its way down, the dollar could be reversing course for a while, but we'll just have to wait and see if that plays out. And then, of course, let's take a look at Bitcoin here, kind of consolidating in this price range, putting in maybe a little bit of a flag there, depending on how this continues out. But markets are going to be closing out for a nice little October. Bitcoin, we'll have to see how the month closes out for Bitcoin. Big monthly close coming up on Monday, which is going to be.
Sam, dude, I know this is happening. Sam, I need you to remind me that this is like, because I always get the timing on my Fed. My Fed timing has never been sharp because I always forget because I never got involved before. So Monday, I want to have a nuclear. Should it be Monday or tomorrow?
Let me check the dates real quick. It's going to be Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it is Tuesday into Wednesday. The numbers will be coming out.
And we can do the show during that, because they usually come out like right around the show time.
Grab like the top CNBC, Reuters, etc., and go through what the top, like, I'm going to say top.
What day should I pen that for?
I think the meeting, I just looked it up, is for the 1st to the 2nd, so maybe it's a 2-day meeting.
You're probably announcing on the 1st.
So the 2nd, which would be Wednesday. Let's do that for Wednesday then.
Perfect. I'll set that up for Wednesday, and we can start doing that every month too. And I'm going to start trying to make
on a weekly basis.
or whenever they do things.
But just in terms of like where we have a good idea for
we could do a macro day, and it'd be Wednesday, I guess. Would be the best.
Maybe we can get a professor or something like that.
That's what I was trying to get today, bro, but nobody was biting on my little lore. I was sending them out there. It's hard to find people to trust in the macros. Like it's like I got few and far between people I can reach out to where I really am like, oh, okay, they're not going to say something that's like biased about how they feel. And this guy's like the best I could find because of his clear oldness and that he's drawing on charts and he's freaking 80. He's freaking awesome. Like I love this guy. Like he probably knows so much that like these are the guys that I like to look at because I know that they know all them dirty details that they ain't got a clue about. And those are usually the things that I'm trying to scoop up. Like I need to get 10 years of experience in the legacy finance without going there. And it's hard. It takes a lot of effort, but I'm starting to get there. It's really fun. These charts are epic. I bet people that trade those NASDAQ charts just really do well.
I also have a question for you guys at the end, towards the end of the show, around liquidity, because I see something that I don't ever see in liquidity happening right now. At least I have never seen this before for more than like a very short period of time, and it's going on 2 days now with liquidity on Hedron. But we'll get into that at the end.
I want to, dude, bro, chill. I need to know that.
Yeah, literally, I just like as I'm doing research and stuff.
We'll save the last 15 minutes for like what we're thinking about and what with Hex, Hedron, Icosa, Zen. We'll tell you kind of our little summary because Sam, I'm not going to tell anyone that I'm just crushing the market 24/7. It's not really possible. But I tell you what, I got my hands in a lot of cookie jars.
Correct.
If you know what I'm saying. So, and BNBP.
A little bit of.
You see my BNBP private chat?
I know I haven't seen it.
Don't mention it, but look at my numbers, and then we'll get back to the video.
Oh, you
posted indicative of where the price is going to be headed. So a lot can happen over the weekend. We'll just have to see if this price action holds up. And then, of course, one of the big winners here last couple of days because of Elon Musk and Twitter. A lot of people anticipating, speculating that Elon Musk is going to do something with Dogecoin and Twitter. But that popped up about.
Damn it! I have to stop it again because of what Jack said yesterday. You know, when Jack says stuff, I take it to heart because he knows a lot of these guys. And remember, he was mentioning Dogechain like crazy. Not like crazy. He mentioned it once, I think, but like Dogechain, Dogecoin, things and Sam don't know too much about too good because I don't know the ecosystems. What do you got?
One of the things that I do know better than probably everybody else watching is that I've listened to not only talks and speeches, but earning calls from Elon Musk. And he wants to turn Doge into more of a payment that people can actually use. And one of the reasons that he believes he wants to do this. So I do think he's going to implement it with Twitter. He's already implemented. You can purchase things with Doge at Tesla using your Doge. And one of the reasons why is because why do we not want dollars? Because the inflation is fucking stupid because there's so much inflation, because there's so much fraud, because there's so much things that you don't control that somebody else can arbitrarily just F you over in terms of your value. Well, with Doge, you know that there's a stupid high amount of inflation. So there's not a tremendous amount of reasoning to hold Doge other than to use it for transactions. So I do think this is from Elon himself, from one of his talks or earnings calls that he's talked about it.
I don't want anyone to think that this can't go right back down and straight back up.
Yes.
That's kind of like what I want. Like, I'm not chasing butterflies right now because I need some macro news. I don't care if this thing does 100x. I can't just buy it when other people just really ramp up under it and then the Fed news comes out. That's just putting myself on the stake, really. Unless I had insight beforehand, which on this one, frankly, I missed out. And I'm sure this was open to me if I wanted to buy it. I don't know how to exactly buy it, but I don't know a lot of these things, but if I did, I could have maybe gotten on that. So that's why I always try to learn more, guys. Like there's other assets. People forget, Sam, real quick, that anything pumps other than whatever they got. And I'm like, dude, everything pumps, bro. Like anything that's actually functionally working towards making this future a better place will pump if it's done correctly. And it's important to note, again, I had to stop right there and mention Elon, Doge. I'm not going to keep going on without mentioning these things because they're starting to stick out to me. And I'm just, as a speculator, you know me, it takes me a while, guys. I ain't going in yet. So let's get it. This is great.
That was off the lows, 47%. So that was a nice little bounce in Dogecoin, starting to unwind that. But here's the big one. Take a look at Proppy. So Proppy, I did a video with the founder of Proppy. This was a nice little pop here, which Proppy has a tendency to do. Was at 47 cents per low.
It's I
Popped
believe
up 138%.
pause it for a sec. I think Proppy is a company that's actually near me. It's probably half hour away. I reached out to them to see if they wanted to come on the show. They real estate. They sell real estate on blockchain. So they take your house, they put it into an NFT, then they sell the NFT because you can't sell your house. You can't put the title.
NFT it. I got the house. Let's go.
Yeah, dude.
I got so many people up in the house. And, got my yard worked on and getting everything squared away at the house. So I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, so you got another super chat here. PNW.
First, say thank you to Pulse Whale. Pulse Whale, thank you for being up in here, and you're the goat. Frankly, for the $5 super chat. PNW_Hex. Sam, I want you to go to Twitter right now and follow him so he can message you, because he gives this chat in this channel lots of super chats, and he asks really good questions. And I have to get back to him on something tax related. He wants to know how to do his taxes easier. And I'm trying to reach out to a couple guys because frankly, it's a tough question.
Hey, what PNW?
PNW_Hex. I think that's also.
Can you reach out to me on Instagram? It's sam.stolt. Sam.stolt. It's far now. It might not be in the future, but it is far easier to get through on Instagram than on Twitter because there's so many messages on Twitter. But reach out to me on Twitter. Happy to have a conversation.
And I have that question in my head. And Sam, one thing we also have to do right after the show. You have to. You probably have to do this more than me, to be honest. Bullish sent his blood work to the private Telegram. It's all sitting there. If you could just once through it for 5 seconds.
Oh, okay.
And because I want to give him an answer, but personally, I can do that for myself, but I'm just not whiz enough to be like, hey, what's going on with this guy? But I know you can. Like, you can look at blood work pretty well and see if there's a good discrepancy in something. So he sent that to us. I just wanted to remind you in case I forgot.
Oh, thank you. I did not see it, so I appreciate it.
He's in there, and he would like to have an insight because you know how Dodgers be in New York. You never know.
Okay, let's get back into this.
To $1.12, and then of course it's unwinding that move, and it's as throughout the history of Proppy here, it just has a tendency to kind of do that because it's cheap, low cap altcoin, easy to pump like that to get nice little pops along the way. You can see the same thing with ACH, and Gala hasn't done it in a while, but these low cap altcoins, you see a lot of little pops out of them like that. So interesting times. Here's Facebook right here, still bouncing around, consolidating off the lows of $96 and currently bouncing around $99 to $100 today, kind of consolidating. Let's take a look at a couple other ones here. We talked about Tesla still kind of hanging in there, right? Hasn't really dropped a whole lot here lately, just kind of consolidating. And then of course the big news was Microsoft really kind of had a little bit of a blowout missing, but has bounced. Amazon had a bit of a drop, bounced off the lows here, dropped down to $97, back up to 102. I know a lot of people are jumping into Amazon here right now. And then Google was the next one, had a little bit of a drop on earnings to $92 and has since bounced back up to 96. So these are still tricky areas to be buying in when the pre-pandemic high was back in this area, pandemic low here, compared to like a Facebook. When you look at how far these things can go, let's take a look at, well, here's Twitter. Let's take a look at Twitter real quick. Twitter is getting delisted from the NASDAQ, but here's Twitter right here, stopped at 53.60. But let's take a look at Meta. So when you look at Meta here, down below the March 2020 lows, back to 2015, 2016 highs.
Wow.
In this range here. So this is a stock that's completely unwound versus an Apple, which is more of a safety trade right now, that hasn't really dropped much from all-time highs in the whole scheme of things compared to a lot of the other tech stocks. I mean, right now, it's really only down about 14% from all-time highs, which is still quite a bit. But when you think about the index as a whole, let's take a look at NASDAQ as a whole. The entire index is still down right now.
This dude talks like a whale.
30% from the high. So Amazon's hanging in there pretty good, but the other side of that coin is the bottom could fall out from underneath of it and revisit these pre-pandemic highs, which the market kind of seems like it's narrowing in on and kind of targeting. If you look at the price action in terms of how this is unwinding, and if we go back to 2009, you can see these big bear market bounces as the market kind of unwinds itself and works its way down. So we know the Fed's going to hike 75 basis points. A lot of analysts and economists are thinking, BlackRock seems to think the Fed's going to put some pivot language, dovish language in their talk. But the way the markets are going right now, we can expect the Fed to come out and really talk down the markets again. There might be some dovish or pivotishy or slowing language coming out of a few of the Fed board members, but not Powell. I think Powell's going to come out with a strong message, just like he did last time, slap down the markets. We'll see it unwind, maybe put in another new low coming off these bounces here lately, potentially, and then maybe start to see if a bottom can be put in while we await a resolution to the Russia-Ukraine situation and other geopolitical events around the world, as well as recession watch. The economy is still strong. The Fed has a lot of ammunition to shrug off any attacks or criticisms that they're getting, because what they have been doing right now does not seem to be working according to the markets or according to consumer spending and things like that. So these are the things that I'm looking at. I'll see you in the next video.
This is very interesting. We still here? Okay. I found something called
I'm gonna post this video, guys, in the chat. So if you're in here and you want to subscribe to that guy, there's the video for this man. GM's FTX supports ETH pound. Does FTX have all their dirty little fingers?
I got another one for you. Multichain.org. So app.multichain.org is a multi-chain bridge that you can go from mainnet to ETHW. And it says it takes 20 to 30 minutes. Cross-chain larger amounts like $1 million take up to 12 hours. But like for smaller amounts.
Can you drop that link in the private form?
Yeah, sure. I haven't used it, so I'd test it with like.
I'm going to be doing some testing after this again, but again, it wasn't really about the money. I didn't really even it was just like I didn't like that because I have Hex there.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So Sam, anything you want to round out about that video as far as like what do you think? Like what do you think? Like what do you think about what's going on right now? Because I know you don't care, frankly, that much.
Correct.
Because it's just like an imaginary like game of fun guessing. But like, what do you actually think? Like, if you had to like just give it your best guess from what you see.
I think we're coming to a little bit of an awakening with a lot of this stuff, where most people are slightly awake to a certain extent to recognize that 99.9% of the shit that the government tells them or media tells them has zero relevance to their life. Like Ukraine, Russia shit, zero relevance. It's just some way for somebody else to make money, some way for somebody else to manipulate the market, some way for somebody else to gain power. That's all this shit that is going on right now. And in all honesty, like you nailed it. Like I know I'm winning and I'm continuing to grow and my shit is like expanding, right? Everybody else is like down.
To watch. Like not everyone's in the position that you're in as like
correct.
a man. Like you're like a man, so like at a bottom level, like you can at least like move and kind of do what you want. Like most people can't really even do what they want because whether they're a very small female or like, just not athletic, you know how things can be when you just never really see. You've always had your way in certain ways, but not every way. Like, you've had your face in the dirt, but like there's some things that you've never experienced. You've never experienced another man looking at you and calling you a little pussy. Ooh. Like a little, and knowing that man could rip you in half. Yes. And that's just like that's normal human. Like most average person, the average person like pretty much fragile to the point where you could kill him with one blow. But I'm saying like there's different. You're confident. I want to make sure we're protecting the average dude too, like just for the freedom of learning. Like I don't think you have to be a badass dude like every dude. Like I know Sam, if some the reason this show is a little bit prosperous as well, rather than other shows maybe not getting as much like user basis, is because nobody will talk crap to Sam because he would actually rip them in half if they did anything that crossed him for real. Maybe, yes, he's not going to care if you joke around and call him a loser. Like, he's not an idiot. But he knows no one would really cross him, and he might run into these people. We're all real people. We all move around. I'm aware of that, too. I don't like to cross people and be, like, on people's ass. Like, that's sketchy, man. Like, and I'm telling you, the reason this show's awesome is because we are different kinds of guys. We're, like, the first guys in crypto that are, like, from the GymRat categories. And we did this, all that kind of stuff. So it's been a fun transition, really has been. But I think that I love this show because we just cut through all that crap because we really don't want to hear it. We want to make this world a better place. Like we want to make the world a better place, and it's way faster when Sam's here and when I'm here, and we can just cut through the crap because it's hard when you're by yourself on an island in your brain. You get lost a lot. But I know Sam's showing up to the show to learn crypto the next day. So I'm like kind of like, okay, well, we gotta learn some crypto today. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
and let's learn some stuff about some LP.
Yeah,
so
let's go in, Sam.
So this is fascinating to me. So this, if you think about what a marketplace looks like, you're always going to have liquidity that's evenly split, roughly evenly split. So this chart, I think, is Hex. Let me look at this. This is Hex and ETH, right? So this is the pair right here, a Hex and ETH, the 0.3% on V3, right? So you're going to always, this data you can't see on V2 because it artificially messes up the distribution. This is how like a market would look if it wasn't being artificially manipulated in Uniswap V2 clones like Spooky Swap or Sushi Swap or all these other ones. It's always about 50% on one side and about 50% on the other.
And that's for an asset that's legit.
Correct.
When we say legit, that means like there's legit market volume and people coming into it.
Now check this out. So that's really what's going on.
Don't blow mine, Sam. I'm sketched out right now.
This
I'm sketched.
Is very interesting because this is something that I only see for very short periods.
Okay, no, let's
this distribution is not normal. I've been looking at these things for quite a long time. And this is
you're pretty locked in on these charts at this point. Like you and I'm just asking you because I wouldn't know.
I probably looked these well over 100 times.
That's awesome. Well over 100 times. That's good to know because I want to talk about this more. We can do the next 15 minutes on the subject alone because I know at least me personally will have some questions. But what are you seeing and what are you thinking? Just like you were about to say about this. And I know most people look at this, they're like, what are you talking about? But don't go super elementary right now because I want to learn some stuff because I understand what these charts are. What are you seeing on like a technical level when you analyze this clearly?
Well, so I'm seeing that. Well, one of the reasons I'm paying attention to these types of things is because I like LP and I like earning fees. And when you see a distribution like this, and if you were to provide liquidity between ETH and Hedron, and only half
people definitely do. I've definitely done that too before. Maybe not at this moment. Though.
Correct. I've done this in the past too. Correct. 100%.
But it is an exotic to a degree. I'd like to say it's a bit of an exotic.
But
I think it's stable because I know the Hex ecosystem. If you know what I mean.
This means so. What happens if there's a marketplace where there's normally 47 sellers of apples, and now it's me and you selling apples? What are we going to do? We're just going to reap the fees, right? We're going to make a massive amount of money because nobody else is there. Well, in this distribution, which is live, this is not like some hypothetical that you learn about in school, like this thing could happen. This is literally taking
These
place
are
in the
real
market.
humans with their real money in this pool, and this is how it shows up on the chart.
And that means that people who are providing liquidity are able to earn a massive amount of fees, because half of that app, if we're in a market and there's 50 players that normally sell apples, and now over half of those players are not there, the remaining players get all the Apple sales, right? Well, that's effectively what's happening with all the fees here. Why is this happening? I am not sure why this is happening.
I want to tell you what I know about Hedron, and then let's see if we can kind of maybe, because I haven't really looked at this part of it, but I have been watching just as it's like kind of like a speculator, just kind of looking at the chart. And I saw that Hex pump, that 10,000 ETH or that 1,000 ETH buy on Hex, right, Sam?
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened? Hedron didn't move, but Hex went up big. So people that think they're smart, and I say think they're smart for lots of reasons, swap a good portion of their Hex or remaining capital into Hex. And what does that do? It leaves the big brains over on the Hedron side. Because, you know, if you're not moving if you're moving like that, you're being a little wrecked, because that means you're not like putting your money in. Like if you just wanted to add a position and you have money on the sideline, you could add a position, but I know people be swapping, and Hedron's getting tastier and tastier and tastier and tastier to me. And I'm not even really buying it right now because I got it real low valuation, but I'm just watching it. But I did buy like, you know, a little bit, I think, like here and there over the last like couple weeks.
So this is another thing that I like to do, is because I'm just a nerd. I like to look at this shit, right? This is another interesting one here, PLSD and Hedron. Now I have no idea how much trading volume there is between these two pairs, but you get to see that most of the liquidity is not in the market. So it's either trying to sell PLSD or trying to buy or trying to sell Hedron. One of those two.
Wait. Say that part one more time for the people and me.
So normally, right? What happens in a normal market? The liquidity, the people who are going to provide that house for sale are going to provide it right around the market price for the house, right? If the market price for this type of house I have is 400 grand, then it's going to be 380 to 420. Pretty much most of the liquidity. There's going to be a tiny bit of outliers on either side.
Is this a little manipulative? Like this I'm not saying that because it's true, guys. I'm really just asking, like, what do you see? You see people kind of playing the fiddler and letting people be kind of dumb in between?
Yeah, this is somebody's providing liquidity on either side of the market,
which means they're trying to change the price.
Which means that so right here, lower liquidity means that any money coming in pushes the price much easier.
And that's why I always say I say this about PLSD. Why do I not? And I'm not saying that thing hasn't done dynamite. I'm not saying it hasn't done dynamite, guys. I'm not saying you can't get real money out of it.
This is a normal distribution.
I cannot understand the liquidity, and it makes me question it. And I have said that for the entire time. I said, who's providing on this? It just seems like a funky kind of like way much money. And, you know, I have my insights on who's doing what, but like I can't tell you for sure, so I would never say it out loud. But why did I sell all my PLSD at $4.20 for Hedron at the bottom? It was because that I thought Hedron had more product market fit on the asset that I like as far as upside potential. It was all potential related with Hedron due to its scarcity and newness. And I think I understand the liquidity in Hedron a little more better, I guess, than I do with PLSD.
The liquidity here is also messed up.
You say messed up, but it's just
okay. So let's just define what messed up means. This is a normal distribution of how liquidity works when there's sufficient liquidity and you have just a normal distribution, right? Around 50% of the liquidity is on the left-hand side and around 50% of the liquidity is on the right-hand side. The pink line will go back and forth. So some points, like in this exact moment, it looks like there's more liquidity on the left-hand side of the curve than the right-hand side of the curve. But let's check PLSD. PLSD is definitely effed up in some way. Now, this could be because
of the positive or the negative.
And it also just because there's very little liquidity here, right? Potentially that could be it too.
If I had a lot of money in PLSD, I should have some PLSD. I tell people all the time, never sell out of a full position, but I was pissed off at that time, so I sold out of a full position. But I knew Hedron had a lot of upside potential, and frankly, did a 15x after that. So, but that's not the point. The point is, I never understood why the price never dipped on PLSD enough. I said, why is this staying at $1? Why is this manually $1? That was my first question. Like, I was like, yeah, I know there's a lot of supply, but it doesn't equal $1. It doesn't. I'm not saying it could be more or less if it was, but it wasn't $1. Like, and I just saw that, and I don't know the liquidity enough, and I had some questions about some of the big bag holders. So for me, it was just, and I could get perma wrecked on this. I'm telling you, I could, but I don't mind. Like, I like getting perma wrecked to learn.
This here is a upside sell of Icosa into Hedron. You see this block right here.
Talk about that.
So this block right here, this is Hedron and Icosa pool, right? You can see this Hedron and Icosa. This here is where somebody's willing to start selling their Icosa for Hedron. And then at this price, there's more people willing, or by the distribution, these large blocks. If you see large blocks like this, anybody who's listening, that means there's not a lot of liquidity. So like, look at USDC. This is how it's going to look: lumpy, ragged, like this, right? You don't see these giant square blocks. If you see a giant square block,
I need you to go to Hex USDC.
Okay, so Hex USDC.
I need your take on Hex USDC. Like, I'm sure you haven't looked at it yet today.
Nope.
So
let's. So we've been looking at several of them, right? We know that it's a jagged one. If we see square blocks, there's not a lot of liquidity. So this first doesn't have a tremendous amount of liquidity, more than like PLSD or more than Icosa, yes. But you have this very strange distribution for liquidity. This could be people, hey, it's the weekend and they're not paying attention to crypto. That is a possibility, right? That is a possibility, but it's, I don't know. I've never seen this, and I've been looking at these things for quite a while. I've seen a fuckload of these things, and
I want you to look at Hex USDC because I don't have questions, but I have questions.
All right, so let's see if we can pull up Hex here. When it put in Hex, it's supposed to pop up here. Why isn't it popping up? Hex. The site we're using is info.uniswap.org for anybody who is curious. Let me start from the beginning. Sometimes when you go to info Uniswap, it doesn't always pull up right away, so you have to like refresh the site. So we're gonna go.
I love that Hedron doesn't. I mean, that Icosa, when it finds a nice little upside, it stays there. I had a feeling that once Icosa found a little upside, it would stay there. And
I bet. Go before I press liquidity. How do you think that the?
Okay, I think that this is a toughie, but I think that it'll look somewhat healthy. Obviously, there is users there, but I have a feeling that it might. There's some big stakes coming out, so I don't know how that affects everything. But I think it'll look a little different. I want to look at it.
All right, I think it's going to look fairly normal, but I haven't looked at it just because there's more players involved.
Yeah, it looks
relatively normal, right? Relatively normal. Let's check some more pairs with Hex though to see how they look. Hex. Let's see what Hex looks like. Because this is on with ETH.
I don't swap with.
Oh, okay. So this is another thing that I wanted to point out. This is I mentioned in one of my videos that should be out potentially later today. When you look up the liquidity of Hedron, right? We can see that there's like, this much in this pair, this much in this pair, this much in this pair, right? But in reality, this giant stack of Hedron is not actually part of liquidity. This is from Alex, right? This is the portion that I think Alex put in, but it hasn't moved. They could move this, but they're not. So it's just sitting here. So this isn't really part of liquidity because the liquidity is right where the price is. And if you look at this, let's zoom in some. Like this wall over here is much bigger than here. So when you see this wall higher, that means there's greater liquidity at that point.
So we're having a hard time coming past that point unless they pull liquidity.
But yeah, correct. But this is actually below the market.
I know. Yeah, so that would mean the price would have to go up, right? Like for the price to go up, you got to get by that wall. That's a big wall.
I think we got the reverse of that. Let's check. So right here at the market price, Hedron equals 0.0001x. Or actually, we're gonna have to do Hedron.
I would feel in my head that Hedron would have no less buy wall in front of it, but I can't tell because the hex Hedron pair which side out of it.
This is below the market, meaning Hedron would have to drop in price to get back into here.
Yeah, I don't see Hedron dropping past exactly how the chart shows. Like that's exactly how I would think about it. I'd say the upside potential on Hedron is God mode, frankly.
And what do you think happens with this? Do you think that they'll move this and plunk it right in the market once we have a movement up?
Yeah, I just think exactly. I just think that like that's a clear the random Joneses aren't getting through that wall in any way, shape, or form. So that is a protector of sorts. That is
This is a downside protector.
Yeah,
because it can't drop below this.
Well, exactly. Like it's just I know, and that's exactly how in my head it feels. I'm like I know Hedron can't go down much lower. It can go down though, and they can pull liquidity, and anything can happen. But that seems normal for a dude who's doing a bunch of work, trying to chill. Like I know. So but I think naturally, I just think Hedron's more fluid. I think it's done well, and I think it's like, look at this, bro. I know I don't have to chill. I can chill.
But that means that the Hedron liquidity is actually a lot lower than what people realize, because that giant section. So what GRC is talking about, and with that big buy wall there, that means that like for the price of Hedron to drop through that wall, then just go bananas like really, really, really low would be really hard because it's like there's this giant wall of USDC or hex there, right? So for Hedron to drop all the way down, it's going to be like bam and hit a brick wall. All of that hex has to be picked up off the road, right? I went to this thing last night with my girlfriend, and they were like throwing money, and it was not a strip club, and it was like they had after it was all done, all that money had to be picked up. Think of that money that's being picked up, as whether you're thinking about a strip club or not, as hex that needs to be picked up. All of the hex needs to be picked up before it can drop below that. So
has the value prop on hex flickered in your head enough yet for you to do a big buy, or have you not?
Not yet. Not yet.
So it hasn't triggered you yet at all.
I'm getting closer. But I wouldn't.
You're not buying like a 100% move or nothing.
I'm actually still acquiring more Hedron over hex personally. I'm not saying it's a good thing or whatever. It's just
personally, Sam, I couldn't agree with you. But that doesn't mean anything that sentiment can change in one day. Correct. And that HSI auctions, how many T-shares are up for grabs? Sam might be grabbing T-shares for the first time. He don't know yet. Well, I'm sure if that's just a glaring premium, he would, look at it. But Sam, what do you got?
If I can profit, I'm gonna be paying attention to this because we have roughly 2 weeks, guys, before these auctions start to come out. So if I can go through and profit, meaning I can take Hedron and purchase a $1,000 hex stake for $400 and then take that hex stake and sell it to Icosa. I don't want to just hold the stakes personally at this moment in time. In the future, that could change, right? I don't feel like doing that at this moment. So if I can buy it for $400 and then sell it through Icosa and get $800 out, I will be doing that because then I can get $400 extra to buy more Hedron, right? Which I'm more bullish on at this moment. As you were just mentioning, that could change. I could change very quickly depending on the circumstances of what's going in the market. But at this moment, that's what I'm going to be doing. If I can get shit really cheap and then flip it. So given how I'm thinking about this, I think that other people are going to be thinking about this. And I see this as bearish for Icosa. Personally, I think that there could be a sell-off in Icosa because there's, in the first, yes, ABIT, what's good, ABIT? Yes, in the first week or so, we're going to have 3,000.
We got Willie B Long 33 with the $10 super chat. Great work, Stolt.
Willie, what's good, bro? Thanks
Willie.
So we have in the first week about 3,000 HSIs that are coming up for auction. If people in the market are able to pick up these HSIs at a discount relative to what they can get for Icosa, key thing there. at a discount relative to what they can get for ICOSA.
What
Meaning,
does ICOSA staking have any implications here? Because I'm telling you, people stake ICOSA a lot. Like I know, dude, I don't stake shit. You know that, and even I find a little bit of a nice use case there to park a little bit of money. You know, and because I don't, there's got to be somewhere where I keep my money. You know.
no, I think Hex is a good place to keep money.
Well,
right?
I have stakes already, right? So like,
Yeah, and I think Keytron is too, personally.
Keytron's so good. So,
But think about this, dude. If we have 3,000 stakes coming out over the course of a week, HSIs, okay, 3,000. Let's just make some wild assumptions, and you can say, hey, I don't agree with that assumption, or let's change those assumptions. So we have 3,000 coming out within a week to 2 week period of time. This means HSIs are coming to be sold to the market, right? Okay, let's assume that 20% of them are purchased at a discount, maybe, right? Let's presume that 20% of them are purchases at a discount. Let's define what that means. When I say purchase at a discount, I'm saying purchase at a discount
to what you would purchase, right? Like if
no, even more nuanced.
Okay.
Because in this example, I think this is bearish for ICOSA. If there was a way to short ICOSA with a very tiny amount of money, I would actually potentially take a short position on
And what's a
ICOSA.
short look like for you? Like 70?
You profit when something goes down.
No, I know that, but like 50% downside. Are we talking? Back to $1. It's 40.
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe lower, but
I
not much.
Remember we were talking that I do like the downside risk with ICOSA too. So
That
staking purpose exactly is like I know like when I put it in at $1, like I was like it's probably gonna be like $1 when I take it out. But I done earned a bunch of Hedron and ICOSA on it. But I use my liquid hex and my liquid Hedron as more of my like movable money because I just feel that upside. I feel that real liquidity there.
Well, let's go through this as an example, and let's add. There's about 140 people who are listening and/or watching.
Oh yeah, guys! Smash the like if you're in here, guys. If you like what we're doing, please clip some of this stuff out. Please follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram at Sam STOLT. I mean, actually, I don't know exactly what his ad is, but it's in the description below. And mine's at GymRatCrypto. Twitter, Instagram. We're live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern. We got producer Bullish in the green room, and he can pop up and say hi whenever he wants, but I don't want to.
So let's get back into that example though.
Please.
So 3,000 HSIs coming up for auction. It could be relative to the hex price, but let's make it even more specific. Meaning, like if you wanted to buy a $1,000 hex stake as an HSI, you'd have to pay $1,000 of Hedron to do so, right? But let's make it more specific. Let's say that not that price because that you can't ARB. Let's do it on the one you can actually ARB, because that's the one people are going to do. Let's say that these 3,000 HSIs, let's say 20% of them. I want to hear from you guys. Is 20% of the 3,000, do you think that's a optimistic number of discounted ones relative to what you could get in ICOSA? Meaning, if you take that $1,000 stake and you sell it to ICOSA, and you can get $900 worth of ICOSA at a discount relative to $900. Even though it's a $1,000 stake, you could only get 900 in Hedron. ICOSA. So do you think 20% of 3,000 is a good number? Is an optimistic number? Is a pessimistic number? Do you think it's going to be higher? Do you think it's lower? I want to hear what you guys think in the chat. GRC, what do you think? Did you understand that piece of it?
I do. I totally understand. I'm pretty much with you, but then I keep getting lost with Polymaximus. Then I can't stop thinking about Polymaxy. I can't stop thinking about all these other factors, and then I feel like I'm missing something as far as like there's too many factors for me to be certain about it for me. Like
so that right, if Polymaximus is aggressive in this process, then the 600 would be less.
Right.
It's going to drive it up, right?
It's kind of like on the fence-ish right now, from my feel.
How's 5%? Let's assume that.
I like that. Okay, I can't. That helps me learn.
5% of the 3,000 HSIs, a relatively small number. It could be way smaller, could be higher, right? We don't effing know where this is just for brain fun, right? That's 150 HSIs that are going to be purchased at a discount relative to how much ICOSA they can get. So what do you think happens when you buy something at a discount that you can immediately profit from? people are going to immediately profit.
Yeah, it's
Then
immediate ARB. There's enough eyeballs here and enough product market fit in community that there is immediate ARB like activated.
what is that going to do to the ICOSA price? Drive it down.
Right.
That's why I do. Okay, let's say it's 1%, 3,000 times
Yeah,
1%.
it's just so hard to tell because I feel like there's some guys with big money that got plans. Like with how Hex can be like that sometimes.
No, you're right. I agree.
There's some guys out there that can pull 100 million and swam. And I'm like, so sometimes I like to have all my. That's why the ICOSA staking to me, and I hate to say this over and over, and I don't have that much, so it's like really like I'm not trying to shill or anything like that compared to other guys. But I love having that 180 day, 90 day, 250 day stake in there, earning Hedron, earning more ICOSA with very little downside risk. Because again, this whole pump was new, and but what if it's pumping to prime that up so it makes more sense? Or like you're seeing that now, right? You saw that and you're like, oh, boop, 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 like calculation, boop, boop. But again, the whole master plan, I think, is that people are going to get a good deal. And I have a feeling.
But okay. So that's interesting, and that's very interesting. If that's the case, then the number could be way higher than 5%, which means that ICOSA could come down more, right? Am I understanding what you're thinking? How you're thinking?
Exactly. Like if we were having this conversation and ICOSA really didn't perform, why would it have performed like that? I don't know. I wasn't buying it.
Because then it can sell down to the point of 80 cents, 90 cents.
The person there is being nice and helpful. And you see that in some cryptos. You see like, oh, this thing would work anyway. But, oh, wow, this guy's really like.
Can this.
Hexicans understand liquidity better than, like, the guys that are really in there, Alex from Hedron, let's be honest. These guys know what they could teach us a thing or two, and you know that because they're really in the weeds and they have big dollar bills in crypto. You know what I mean? And I love talking to those guys. Alex is about as hard to talk to as any human on the earth. And frankly, I ask too many questions. But the guy impresses me day after day. And I think he's trying to make a big statement. And I'm not going to say what that means, but a big statement. A statement for him, like, and he's not a big. This guy, he's a big, this computer guy.
Alex?
Yeah, like he's not going to talk. He's not going to tell you you're a bitch. And he's like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
he's got his head down. He's got his family. He's got his work. He's got all of his stuff. Is there any way, get Gold Key or Dip Catcher on this week for Poly Maximus Deep Dive? Potentially?
Whoa, Sam, riddle me this, Sam, because I want to take things to the next level, like I say every day. But what's your schedule like? How can I get you for an hour or so? Because when you tell me that you have an opening in your schedule, like even if you said like 2:00 today, for example, then I could prepare something. Because it's always the preparation that is like, I need Sam, but I need to prepare to need Sam. So
okay, cool. Let's do it right now. So are you available, say tonight or tomorrow? Maybe say 7 to 8.
I'm available. You tell me you're available. I'm the gym rat.
You pick tonight or tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow because we have more time to prep.
No. Prep time only take the hour.
Okay.
So like, but yes, I think tonight I want to go double down Saturday night, and then I can watch UFC after and feel like I had a nice productive day. And I'm going to set up a show for you that don't you worry about what the show is because I know what you already suggested. I remember. So I'll set that up. And Sam, that's what I do, Sam. So like, just know that's what I'm good at. So let's use your time as effectively as we possibly can. And because I got a lot of free time, frankly, like compared to you, I just do. And most compared to literally every human. So let's what was the topic we were saying before we got off? So let's round it out by saying a couple things about the market in general with your investments, what you're kind of looking at, what you're kind of seeing. And when it comes to these Hex, ICOSA, Hedron, are you in buy position or like medium DCA pay attention decision? And what do you think about the macro right now? And then I'll give my take and then we can
I think with Hex, I'm bullish long term on Hex. I'm not currently really acquiring it at any rate. ICOSA, I see a potential opportunity, especially if we can have a sell off. If we have a sell off back down to say 80 cents, 70 cents, I would probably buy some ICOSA and DCA into ICOSA. But in the current environment with what's going on, I am DCAing into Hedron. I will continue to DCA into Hedron until things change. I'm not saying you guys should do any of the things that I'm talking about. This is my personal, like what I'm doing because of the macro environment, what I see playing out. That doesn't mean that the Fed doesn't crank shit and shit tumbles by another 30%, right? Easily possible. But I'm not making any moves on that. I just know how things are going to play out in the longer run because we're going to win throughout this process. It just might push the time frame slightly by having things happen like that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. My take is this, and I'm going to say this because if it comes true, people are going to think I'm smart probably. So I think that Bitcoin is, I think short term, and I want to know what's your Q4 outlook, guys. So in the chat before we go, I want your Q4 outlook. So Q4 outlook, do you see anything bullish in Q4? Do you think we're just going to chill for a while? But in general, I think Ethereum is doing something rather interesting right now. And I'm not saying that you need to put all your money in Ethereum. That's not really the point at all. The point is that it has become actively deflationary now. And Ethereum has major buyers, Sam. Major buyers. Huge buyers. Real deal buyers, Sam. Real deal. Dude, if you if a dude said for the first time he speculated $1 million on Ethereum today, you wouldn't be surprised at all. It wouldn't phase you. It wouldn't even be a part of your day because you're like, that makes sense. Dude's got $1 million. Ethereum's pretty good. So I think it's important to remember that when you're deciding what you want to put big money into, right? Big money, you don't always have to put your big money into something that'll pump 100x. You know what I mean? And I think it's important for people to really consider. I bought a full Ethereum yesterday, and I don't care if it goes to $400. You know, I really do not give a shit because I'm seeing things. I'm seeing things on my radar, not anyone else's radar. GRC, can you let Sam finish talking? You have called so many times just as he's about to share some solid info. It's extremely annoying. Yes, I can, but I have to talk at some point, and I get confused about sometimes it's a conversation back and forth. Sometimes I jump the gun, but I will put that into consideration. Digital awareness. Thank you so much. Watch on Sam's channel. I don't cut him off as much over there.
Pre-recorded content's hard to cut off, right?
Yeah. But I think Ethereum making moves, right? The whole flippening thing that people have been talking about for 2 years, I've been hearing people talk about this, Sam. The flippening, it's going to happen. Something's going to trigger it. ETH merge news kept pushing. Finally out. Everyone acted like nothing happened. But I think everything happened. I think a lot happened. And with ETH POW, with ETH Fair, but what actually happened is Ethereum became extremely deflationary, which nobody really understands or notices directly. And then something like GymRatCrypto comes out and 5 million people do a gas fee in one day. And you're like, oh, that's why. Like that. And everyone starts to freak out. And I think GymRatCrypto has absolutely done something in this game that is could actually change the real dynamics of the crypto market as far as that finally getting something detached from Bitcoin. Because it 10x, 20x in a cycle, while Bitcoin does a 2 or 3, would really change the dynamic of Ethereum, in my opinion. And I think that is what we're priming up for. And I think that kind of stuff can happen at any time because people like me that are smarter and have more money are thinking, they have to be thinking this, because I'm telling you, I've been dead nuts on this chart, staring at this Ethereum chart, and I don't even buy Ethereum like that. I'm just looking at it because I'm like, when Ethereum goes to the moon, all my stuff goes to the moon, period, end of story. Right, Sam, though? Yep. Dude, like if you see a 10K Ethereum when you wake up. Are you a little bit excited when you open your Hedron bag? Maybe
Yeah, correct.
you would be excited. Oh, hold on one second. Killer education on this show, much appreciated.
Oops,
Sam.
go ahead. That was me.
Sam. Piers dot. How do you say that properly?
Pierre, baby. Pierre's.
Piers. Are
House.
you from London?
I think it's
France?
no, over in the Arab Emirates, I think, or something.
Italy?
No, I think AED is like. Let me check real quick. I think it's over there.
Oh, AED. Well, they can do like different currencies. All these guys.
Arab Emirates dirham.
Oh, so that's over in Russia?
No, in Middle East somewhere.
Oh, I have no idea about the currencies. I'm a pleb. Killer education on this show, guys. Much appreciated. Hey, I really appreciate the super chat, and I appreciate all your comments. I see your comments in here, and they're very nice. They're very respectful. You give us the props, and I appreciate it, and it makes the chat vibes chill. Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate that. Bullish, can you give us an update?
Good morning, but the fact that you said Russia.
I was thinking of UFC now, and UFC is getting taken over by Russia, and it's like everyone in Russia is just kicking everyone's ass. I just think of Russia, but Emirates has the soccer team. But anyway, Bullish update.
How you feeling, bro?
Like shit. I shared some of the updates in the private chat, not the private chat, the TG chat. Yeah, man, I'm fucked up. I'm fucked up, man.
Are you on the other side of being like not dead? Like you were like on that dead vibe for a minute there. Are you like feeling like you like will survive and thrive?
Yeah, I have faith that things are gonna work out. I just gotta get through this.
Yeah, if you need anything, dude, just let us know, and just know, like, if you do need something, like, we're not forgetting about you. We know you're sick, bro. People are getting sick around here too. I was supposed to see my family, and my sister has the kids and stuff, and them kids are coughing up a lung. I said,
yeah, like last night I was coughing up blood, fucking nosebleeds, kinds of crazy stuff.
Are you getting fluids, Bullish? Like, are they giving
Yeah, bro, I got fucking needles stuck to me right now as I'm talking to you.
Damn. Well, bro,
and shout out to my wife because I was having trouble sleeping, so she came this morning, brought me some edibles.
Did she rub your butt?
I swear I got a solid.
She rub your belly?
You got a little bit.
I got a solid like 3-4 hours sleep today for like the first time.
Hey, good. That's good to hear. It's good to hear your voice and just that you're, past that brink of like about to jump off the edge.
Yeah. At this point, I can just, I can either be negative about it and depressed, or just keep a positive mindset and, just, what they say, an idle mind is the devil's playground. So, just trying to keep myself.
Hey,
busy.
if I sent you something, do you think they would allow you to take it?
What do you mean?
As a peptide? And not saying.
Well, I wouldn't tell the doctors.
You have to move it though, Sam. Did you tell them?
We should have the conversation after we get off. We can end the show.
Yeah.
You have to put it in your rectum. All right. It's only booth. It's booth only. So guys, anyway, big week for crypto ahead. Me and Sam are coming on later tonight. I'm gonna get an episode set up. I'm also just DM Jack, and I said, you know what, Jack? I want Sam, you, me, and 2 other killers on a Twitter space. And I want to go Twitter space with it because me and Sam, I've been off the Twitter spaces because of pure annoyment, but I'm ready and refreshed to get back. So I want to right away. Jack's been pulling heads all over there, and I got questions for Jack, but I want it not to be about Zen, Hex, or anything. I want it to be about the future of DeFi and how we can position ourselves and push for the right things, because there's a lot of disorganization in crypto right now. And I want to get some smart guys together and just think really critically, and just think, how can I wake up in the morning and, I do my show on whatever, but maybe I could do it on something that's more important. Maybe I could do it on something that's more influential. Maybe there's a better trend that I should fight for, right? Or maybe FTX thing is really important not to support that, or whatever the hell it is. I need to talk to these guys And and they're not maxi people. We're not talking to maxi people. So guys, everyone have an amazing day. It's your boy GRC, Sam STOLT. We're coming back at you live tonight. I'm gonna get Dip Catcher, Gold Key, Alex from Hedron, something going on for my boy Sam. And we are going to get it serious. And I'm gonna advertise for it. And it's gonna be great, frankly. So put the notifications on, subscribe to the channel, CITMcast.com, guys. That will bring you to the links for all of the casts that come on all the YouTube streams. So if you go to I just dropped the chat, CITM, is it CITMcast.com?
Yeah. CITM cast right here. CITM cast. You guys check it out. This has all those social links. We're on, like, if you do driving or if you do sales and you're in your car a lot, we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those things. So check them out over there. If you do listen to any of the podcasts, leave us a review, right? Like, leave us a review. Super, super helpful.
Yeah, and even if you don't listen to it and you have an account, like if you watch it on YouTube, but you have an account over there, just go over there and leave a comment if you want to do something nice and you don't have any, whatever. Like if you want to do something nice for us, all that stuff really helps more than you can imagine. Real people commenting on real stuff. That's a big deal for me. I love that. Guys, we'll talk to you every day. Crypto in the morning. We're coming at you later tonight for crypto in the evening. It's going to be legit. Crypto, DeFi proof, best rapper ever.
You already know what time it is.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Crypto in the morning.
Waiting on phone.
Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking no blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. I'm already tuned in. Got me some hex and I'm making a stake. Got me some hedron, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. GymRatCrypto sent me to show you the way.
DeFi proof.
Crypto in the morning.